Isn't this a fun cover? Taking a popular song and making it your own? So great, but also illegal. Did you know your school district could get sued for this? For years, educators have arranged pop tunes for band, chorus, and orchestra illegally. Today we're going to explore different licensing options as you learn both the history and new developments in the publishing world. You'll hear an ensemble play fully licensed arrangements of Toto's Africa and Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train as I guide you through the process from initial flash of inspiration to the concert stage. Ready to start? Here we go. First off, what is a copyright? A copyright, put most simply, is a right to copy your original work. Copyright is a federal law. It is Title 17 of the United States Code. Copyright is a right of the authors to control the use of their work for a limited period of time. A copyrighted work must be an original work of authorship, which is fixed in a tangible medium of expression. What could be granted a copyright? Literary works, musical works, including the accompanying words, dramatic works, including the accompanying music, pantomimes and choreographed works, pictorial, graphic, and sculptural works, motion pictures and other audiovisual works, sound recordings, computer software, architectural works. Now that we know the definition, let's hear a story of Harold Edstrom, a music teacher whose experiences with a copyright to an arrangement went wrong and then so very right. It's a familiar tale. A music teacher, not this guy, realizing his students wanted to perform music they had already liked, arranged some popular tunes for his group to play. There was only one problem. Having not acquired licenses for the music, the arrangements were not entirely legal. The year was 1945, and the educator was Hal Edstrom. This guy. But let's back up a couple years. Looking back to 1890, it is estimated that as many as 10,000 bands were active in the United States. Interest having been stimulated by the popularity of the professional bands. In 1915, Albert Austin Harding reported that at one time the state of Illinois had more bands than towns. Bands were found in schools, universities, factories, department stores, churches, amusement parks, prisons, seminaries, and schools for the feeble-minded. Most were small, but a few boasted over 100 musicians. Unfortunately, this phenomenon could not sustain itself. In his 1962 paper, The School Band Contest of America, 1923, Emil A. Holt described the ensuing situation. These thousands of bands provided music for parades, civic ceremonials, concerts, and dances. As the popularity of Sousa and the other great band leaders increased, a host of imitators appeared. The intense competition that developed led to price cutting and charlatanism. As their quality deteriorated, the attraction of the town or park band waned. By 1920, many had succumbed under the simultaneous attacks of jazz, the automobile, the moving picture, and the phonograph. The great concert bands ceased touring and village bandstands stood deserted. As a result, musical instrument sales plummeted. The instrument manufacturers knew they had to create a new market. In response, the music industry relentlessly promoted music in schools. With so many well-trained military veterans with service band experience coming back to America, many began to accept music teaching positions within schools across the country, eventually bringing wind music and marching band music into both educational curriculum and school culture. One of the first events the music instrument trade groups created was the National Band Competition, held in Chicago in 1923, created by the Chicago Piano Club. Now I know it's not exactly the blockbuster movie Joker, but here's the Hal Leonard origin story. 12 years later, Brothers Everett Leonard Edstrom and Harold Edstrom met Roger Buddisfair at Winona State Teachers College in Minnesota. The Edstrom started the school's first marching band program in 1935, while concurrently directing the Mabel High School Band. They never entered a band contest without receiving an A rating or better, and the Mabel Band won a national music competition featuring high schools from across the United States. Harold graduated in 1936 and taught at Winona Senior High School and started the marching band program there. At the same time, Ev performed with the Campus Kings, a popular musical group that appeared at college social events. Under his direction, the band expanded, began touring, and was renamed the Hal Leonard Orchestra in 1937. The name was derived from those of Harold, Hal, and Leonard, Ev's middle name. This was necessary because of the concern that their father, Ernie, might not approve of attaching the family name of Edstrom to something as questionable as a dance band. But the band did well. They toured and started to make a name for themselves. So well, in fact, that they got the attention of Lawrence Welk, another popular band leader in their area at the time.
And now, direct from the Aragon Ballroom at Pacific Ocean Park, here is your host, Mr. Music Maker himself, Lawrence Welk.
Thank you so much, my friends, and a warm welcome to you all. It's our pleasure to be your host from Pacific Ocean Park and the Aragon Ballroom, where we have been playing for the past 9 years. This evening, along with champagne music, we're going to show you the Aragon Ballroom and some of the many highlights of Pacific Ocean Park here in Santa Monica. First, let's take a look at the dancers here at the ballroom as we play In a Good Old Summertime.
Lawrence Welk liked what he saw and recommended them to the bookers of Chicago's Trianon Ballroom. Featured both on network radio broadcasts and the covers of national music magazines, Hal Leonard was the scheduled headliner at the nation's top dance venue, Chicago's Trianon Ballroom, on December 7th, 1941, the same night as the Pearl Harbor attack. With the coming of World War II, the draft broke up the band. In 1945, having returned home from World War II, Hal Edstrom found work as a band teacher in Winona, Minnesota. As there was a lack of arrangements of pop music for high school bands, word got around about his versions, and he mimeographed copies for other local band teachers to use. This is truly the old school version of Napster. Eventually teaming up with his brother Everett Leonard Edstrom and Buzz Digger, the trio ventured to New York City in 1947 to acquire licenses for their arrangements from the music publishers of Tin Pan Alley. Their very first license was for the song I Wonder Who's Kissing Her Now, a popular song from 1909 that was revived for a hit movie of the same name. With licenses in hand, the Edstrom brothers, using their nicknames, created a new company. 7 decades later, Hal Leonard LLC is now the largest sheet music publisher in the world. Since the rise of the internet in the mid-1990s, one of the main changes in the music industry is just how much easier it has become to distribute music. The playing field for digital dissemination, whether it be an MP3 or PDF of a song, has been radically leveled. Just a quick search of YouTube, it yields a flurry of music educators who can have created and posted their own arrangements of popular music, and without proper licenses, they are illegal. But let's hear from someone with decades of experience in the publishing industry.
I mean, look at all the groups that have played, Baby Shark
right.
this year. Now, if you teach something by ear,
Mm-hmm.
you're just doing a cover, keeping
Mhm.
the character of the piece, you're not rearranging it. That is okay.
Mm-hmm.
But to actually arrange it, change it up, do all
Right.
that kind of thing is not.
Right.
So, people don't have a clue.
Right.
I guess my biggest comment from my point of view would be,
Right.
I feel like that teachers need to have a basic knowledge of copyright.
Mhm.
It's a huge factor in the world that music teachers live in,
Mm-hmm.
and to be totally ignorant is like putting your head in the sand.
Part of the problem is that many educators think they are exempt from copyright infringement if they can claim fair use because they are performing in an educational setting. A common misconception about this exemption in copyright law. Phillips has seen confusion in many music educators.
What I hear the most from teachers is, well, it's for kids, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, that's not what the law says at all.
Right.
The law has fairly specific criteria that have to be met before something can be fair use.
Right.
And a couple easy questions a teacher can ask them is this a reproduction of any
Mhm.
sort? Am I reproducing audio? Am I reproducing, print? Am I reproducing something on video? If it's a reproduction, am I posting it to a website? That's a reproduction. Anything that's a reproduction is probably not okay. And is it taking money out of the composer's pocket?
Mm-hmm.
Then it's probably not okay. If it makes someone lose money, it's probably not okay.
Given all these challenges, even experienced music composers like Carrie Lane Grizel have found the process of arranging popular music to be discouraging. She says, "I've had very little luck with arrangements that are not in the public domain," said Grizel about the status conferred on music written before 1924. Some publishers will only use pieces in the public domain unless they already own the copyright. To create a legal version of a song like Africa by Toto, an arranger would have to pay around $400 to $500, depending on their ensemble size, to a company like Trisona Multimedia for a limited time license. Although companies like this have streamlined their license acquisition process by putting them online, their model of selling exclusive licenses for a premium fee is very similar to the one that Edstrom encountered in 1947. Unsurprisingly, illegal arrangements of songs like Baby Shark are rampant. Now let's hear an example of such an arrangement. A couple years ago, as Weezer was making this song very popular again, I had a flash of inspiration. I wanted to create a version of Africa, but I wanted it to be legal. Citing their low cost and ease of use, a survey by the British-based YouGov recently revealed that subscription-based streaming companies like Spotify and Netflix have reduced the use of illegal file sharing platforms like LimeWire and Kazaa. The music publishing industry, however, has been slower to evolve. One company that is attempting to change this paradigm is Noteflight, a subscription-based service launched in 2008 that brings music composition to the cloud. Hal Leonard acquired Noteflight in 2014 and invested in enhancing Noteflight's notation capabilities and launched Noteflight Marketplace in the fall of 2018 as the first music notation marketplace where musicians can legally buy and sell arrangements of copyright works. Because of Hal Leonard's gargantuan catalog, subscribers have access to over 1 million songs they can arrange to sell.
And for a long time, there really wasn't that. I mean, you can do custom arrangement and you can get special permission, but those things take time. We're sort of going at it and saying, look, here's 1 million plus songs. You have permission. Just arrange it and sell it, and we'll pay the people who need to be paid.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just a game changer. For
An example of this is my arrangement of Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train. To make a legal arrangement, I just had to go to the Noteflight Marketplace song catalog and make sure it was in their library. I created my arrangement in Finale and uploaded it as an XML file. If you don't use Finale, you can also create your arrangement using Noteflight's transcription software. Here's my arrangement of Crazy Train, played by an elementary ensemble. Although the company's changes are a tectonic shift, one roadblock that still remains is that users are not able to arrange copyrighted songs for large ensembles such as marching band.
We're trying to baby step into it, and we made a decision with our partners that we're gonna stay out of marching band and large ensemble orchestra, that area, because we want to make sure that we take time to educate people about the difference between when they need to secure a custom arrangement and when they can self-publish. And so starting with that restriction is one way we can help that for sure.
As performances in educational settings don't require a separate license as long as no admission is charged, teachers can program their purchased arrangements as well. Actually selling them, however, proves more difficult. As is true for bands without a record label contract, a primary challenge to self-publishers is effectively marketing their music. Major publishers, after spending a significant portion of their sizable budget creating professional scores and recordings, have ample resources to promote their products, both traditionally and digitally.
What stopped self-publishing in the past is there was no marketing. And to get teachers to know about your website, if you did your own publishing and put it on your own website was very difficult and could be expensive and that kind of thing. So social media has changed that, and the search engines at J.W. Pepper, with their publishing, and Sheet Music Plus with their publishing, has definitely made that given more of an opening for people. You still don't have the good recordings that the big publishing companies do, and the promo brochures and that kind of thing.
The internet is definitely the primary method of people looking for new music, said Phillips, noting that Alfred Music still mails out a large volume of promotional materials to teachers. But in the digital age, in which investing in tools like mobile responsive websites have become a priority, are such mailings still effective? Music publishers and distributors like J.W. Pepper also commit substantial resources to connecting with educators in real life as well.
We work extensively with our dealers, and they do a lot of their own marketing, but they're also boots on the ground connecting with the teachers directly, whether it's by their road reps that go out, and service instruments, or whether it's their storefront or their emails and their connections. So that, I would say, is another huge leg of the marketing. And Alfred sponsors a lot of clinicians around the United States, which is a very expensive marketing aspect, but we do that all the time.
Even without these extensive resources, Phillips believes the global reach of the internet has made it possible for independent publishers to make an impact. With new tools like targeted Facebook posts to teacher groups, Monsiak sees how self-publishers can reach the niche needs of consumers.
What self-publishing does is it creates this need-based approach, because all of these composers and arrangers worldwide are basically creating music because probably it doesn't already exist in the format, and then they're filling the market. So actually, self-publishing fills in all the cracks of the market. It's like, maybe it's like ice cream after Thanksgiving meal. Right?
C. Harvey Publications is an example of such a success. A cellist by training, Cassia Harvey started her company in 2001 and has sold over 50,000 books. Let's hear from Cassia about her experiences in self-publishing. Okay, to review, you've got two basic options for creating a legal arrangement. Option number one, it's about $500, and it's for large ensembles, more than 20 players. Now, option number two, it's about $50 for smaller ensembles, less than 20 players. Going forward, the arranger's landscape is bound to keep changing in order to keep up with the latest technological developments. One day soon, music teachers will hopefully see not just how much easier it has become to create and distribute their arrangements, but just how necessary it has always been. I'd like to share with you that this presentation is a part of a story I wrote for the October 2020 edition of Teaching Music. Thank you for your time and attention today. Below is a QR code if you would like to download my presentation. And now, time for a questions and answer segment.